Yeah, good morning, everyone. And yeah, for those that don't know me, I am Joe Davidson. I'm a project officer in the Land and Maritime Transport team at Innovate UK, although I'll be very much staying on land today with the content and giving you an overview of what we're up to in supporting the future of transport. There's quite a few wordy slides within here because we have lots of funding opportunities. You'll get the slides later on, and do get in touch with us. There's various contact details of colleagues across the team, so do reach out to us after today and speak to some of our colleagues that are in the audience today. So Innovate UK, who are we and what do we do? We are the UK's innovation agency, and we are here to support low and mid TRL innovations and technologies and help provide the funding and support to help make them possible. On the snazzy graphic here, you can see we're part of UKRI, UK Research and Innovation, sitting alongside 7 research councils, as well as Research England, helping to invest in new ideas and develop the technologies of the future. And I know many of you in the room have received Innovate UK funding in the past, but we do more than just that. You see on the right, we've got Invest, but we also have Inspire and Involve as part of our 3 main strands of work. So Inspire, making the opportunity visible and compelling for sectors. We don't just work in the transport sector, we cover a range of activity. So trying to provide that horizon scanning and seeing what's upcoming in the sector and how we can best support those through our work. And then Involve, so bringing the relevant organisations together, like we've done here in supporting the TTF alongside the Department for Transport, helping facilitate those LinkedIn connections, those business card exchanges, and hopefully getting you talking about who might have the missing pieces of the jigsaw to help you move forward. Now, I'd like to start with our work on where we left off last year at the TTF annual conference, which was a call for evidence and insight from women and girls in terms of their lived experience of transport. Thank you very much for all those that contributed and helped share the survey. We had over 350 respondents, then conducted a number of in-depth interviews with them. And the reports were published at the end of last year in the report you see on the slide here, Lived Experiences of Women and Girls in Relation to Everyday Journeys. And this was all about, from an innovation perspective, thinking about what challenges are being faced and how innovations can overcome them in terms of improving the experience of women and girls, but also in many cases, the experiences of lots of other groups of transport users. A lot of the issues that were identified can be applicable and are experienced by a broad range of groups using the network. So the report summarises 13 key barriers to multimodal travel and has a number of how might we statements and also suggestions from the participants. So sort of call to arms for innovators and thinking about where the areas are that innovations can help improve the experiences of transport users. We had a big focus on retaining the voices of participants, lots of quotations, and trying to keep that knowledge and insight base as the grounding for innovators to think about where they should go next with innovations. So do take a read of it, the link's on the slide here. But this isn't the end of our EDI in transport work. We're doing a lot more work currently, one being with LCRIG in terms of the Manual for Smart Streets and mapping EDI activity on there. So thinking about, as a sector, where are we potentially having gaps in our thinking and standards as we look to deploy innovations, and where should we maybe be focusing more effort in terms of the EDI implications of these technologies. So there's more to come in this space later in the year. I mentioned we cover a lot of sectors and we're not the only one providing innovation support. There's a whole range of other public sector players, as well as government departments providing opportunities. That's why last year Innovate UK launched the Innovation Hub. The link's on the slide. It's currently in beta stage, but this looks to coalesce and bring together all of those opportunities and hopefully make it easier to navigate whatever stage you are of your innovation and make it possible to find the right support for you, whatever stage you're at. As I mentioned, it's in beta stage and we're really welcoming feedback. So if you take a look and you think something's missing or it's not malleable to how you want to be using it, do let us know. We're making improvements to it constantly. Now, some specific programs we have going on across the team. We have our Vehicle to Everything Innovation Program, of which phase 2 is currently open, closing in just under 2 weeks' time. So you might need to get a wiggle on if you are looking to apply for this. Josie Wardle, the innovation lead, is here today if you want to have a chat with her. This is looking for small-scale demonstrations with real drivers trialling Vehicle to Everything products and services in a real-world environment with a focus on answering V2X research questions. I know, speaking to many of you in the room, V2X is a hot topic for some of you, so do reach out to Josie or myself if you're interested. Moving on, we have ZERFT, the Zero Emission Road Freight Demonstration Projects, which we run in partnership with the Department for Transport. Previous round of funding has helped support large 5-year on-road demonstrations of zero-emission heavy goods vehicles, helping support that transition in one of the harder areas to decarbonise of the sectors we're looking at, of these higher weight category heavy goods vehicles. At the bottom here, you can see a project called BET, the Battery Electric Truck Trial. They're sharing all of their learning and the challenges that they're overcoming as they decarbonise their fleet. Do take a look. There's lots of regular updates, and there's a big focus on that knowledge dissemination and insight sharing to help support the wider sector in what challenges are being faced when we think about transitioning the entire fleet, not just the vehicles, but also the supporting infrastructure that's going to be required to help facilitate those zero-emission HGVs. In terms of upcoming funding for this, Alistair Barnes, my colleague, provided the wording at the bottom there that the winners of the most recent round are to be announced soon. We're going to be funding hundreds more zero-emission HGVs, and again, a big focus on knowledge dissemination. So look out for upcoming projects in this space, and again, focusing on medium-term commercial demonstration and deployment with not just the vehicles, but the state-of-the-art infrastructure. And there's a lot of, in terms of that knowledge sharing, informing the future work of Innovate UK, but also wider government and public and private sector partners as well. Moving into connected and autonomous vehicles now, we also have a lot of activity in this space. Here you can see a summary of our CCAM deployment round. Most recently, 7 projects here spread right across the UK. Some of the councils in the room here involved in some of the projects I know. And from the pictures, you can see a range of different applications, so both passenger and freight services, and as well a range of the spaces within which they're operating, so public and private spaces. Do take a look at these, and Robert Vermeer, the programme manager for the programme, is also in attendance today if you want to have a chat about any of the projects. And then upcoming, so when I mentioned that I'd have the ears of lots of local authorities, Richard Morris was screaming at me to include this slide, and that we are hoping to run a new competition for feasibility study projects looking at autonomous vehicles for passenger services, either on public roads, segregated areas, or both. And if approved, this might open towards the end of May. I can't go into too much detail as it's been through various vetting in the team, the wording here, but if you do have any questions, do reach out to Richard and he'll be happy to discuss further, and keep an eye out for if and when that's confirmed. I mentioned we do more than just funding. One of this is through Innovate UK KTN. So we have our Net Zero Places Innovation Network, which the KTN run. I know many local authorities in the room are already part of the network and have contributed to some of the webinars and various bits of activity going on in this space. It's targeting at local and regional authorities and agencies. So if you aren't joined in with that, do click through the link and join. There's a lot of activity in this space, and it is supporting 3 current focus areas. So transport, buildings and estates, and then finally unusual challenges. So thinking about some of the areas that don't get so much attention when thinking about how we decarbonise moving forward. And then finally, on the domestic side, we have Bridge AI, which launched yesterday, and it's Innovate UK's £100 million AI support programme. You may have seen it on LinkedIn. It was launched in London, featured on BBC News as well yesterday. The first round of this is specifically asking for transport applications, as well as some other sectors, looking at AI to address business challenges in transport, including logistics and warehousing. I mentioned it's a broader package of support. Yesterday we were talking about the skills and talent pipeline in terms of AI and getting the expertise there. Bridge AI has a big focus on that as well. So beyond just the funding, how do we get the talent and expertise in the sector moving forward as we roll out AI? So do take a look. It's closing 24th of May. this first round, so just under a month to get any applications in. And then a common theme over yesterday and also later on today, Annette also mentioned in terms of DFT's international work. Innovate UK is no different. We have a big international offering, so some of the reasons here for international collaboration, why we think it's important, why we're doing so much in this space. I'm not going to detail on all of them, but international is a big focus area for us, and how we then help support sectors in taking all these exciting innovations and getting them working with partners around the world. One of the main vehicles for that is Horizon Europe. Louise Mothersole, our national contact point, provided these slides, and do reach out to her for any support and guidance on accessing Horizon Europe. In short, UK organisations are fully eligible to apply for funding from the EU for all their transport projects, and we're pretty good at it. We have a higher than average success rate, and there's lots of organisations receiving support from through Horizon Europe. She also asked that I include a couple of slides here on specific calls that are upcoming and to be taking a look at if you're looking to access Horizon Europe funding. These are opening, this one in December and this one in May. These are very targeted at transport applications, these calls, so do take a look at them. And if you've got any questions, Louise is the person to ask. Beyond the multilateral side, we also have a number of bilateral research and development collaborative funds. So four of these are open at the minute: Singapore, South Korea, Germany and Switzerland, where we've partnered with our partnering agency in those geographies and are funding collaborative projects with UK and partners in South Korea, Singapore, Germany and Switzerland. You'll see that there's Singapore and South Korea are particularly welcoming transport applications at the minute. So if you do have partners over there and are interested in collaborating on a project, do take a look at them. You'll also see that they're round 2. So we've had previous rounds of both Singapore and South Korea last year, and they were very well received. So we're hopefully looking to establish a recurring 6-monthly or annual call for projects of this kind. So you can be working towards collaboration there, identifying partners, and hopefully looking to apply for funding later on. And if you don't know where to look for international collaboration support, Innovate UK Edge run our Global Business Innovation Programme, GBIP for short, which is where we support businesses in thinking about targeting geographies around the world for international collaboration, what it might take, what extra challenges you would face in collaborating there. So it's a big package of support, and we are running a large number of GBIPs over the next few years. So do take a look at those, and also reach out to Innovate UK Edge if international collaboration is something you're considering. I supported the delivery of the South Korean Singapore round 1s, so any questions about what it takes to be applying into these funds, do let me know, and I'll be more than happy to have a chat. And with that is the whistle-stop tour of Innovate UK over. Our social medias are on the bottom here. Our Twitter and LinkedIn we're particularly active on. Do give us a follow, and do reach out to any of us that have had contact details on the slide today. We'd love to hear from you all.